Hey, and welcome back to the Business Real Talk. This week's episode, we're going to talk about the Netflix effect of conversions and how to make your marketing and sales binge worthy. Now, this is one of my favorite topics ever because ultimately, this is my innovation. This is what allowed me to realize how we can actually shift how we get leads to sell themselves and how it can be so freaking easy if we understand and apply the Netflix effect. But here's what I want to ask you. I want you to raise your hands if you've ever logged into Netflix, thought to yourself that you need a good show to watch. You found a show that maybe you've never heard of, and 4 hours later, you're deep into season two. You're sitting at the edge of your seat, maybe even yelling at the TV, explaining to your spouse or anyone who will listen how crazy things are getting, and you've become a die-hard fan. I'm talking, you're on Google, you're looking at what other shows the main actors have been in, who they're dating, the whole 9 yards. I call this the Netflix effect, and it's taking the world by storm. Why? Because it gives us the ability to fall in love within hours. It's this power behind bingeability that allows us to transform our entire perspective, to create deep rooted relationships, to become diehard fans, to feel like we've fallen in love within hours. And it's powerful. There's a reason that Netflix is the sixth largest internet company in the world with over 151 million paying subscribers worldwide. Netflix is now a $33.7 billion company. And one of their key secrets to success is in leveraging bingeability because when people binge, they buy in. Now, a staggering 70% of Netflix users binge watch, according to Netflix watching statistics. And the reality is, bingeability is the key to developing relationships quickly, establishing authority with ease, and creating buy in, AKA diehard fan status, without pressure, convincing, or more work from your end. And as a business owner, bingeability is a key factor to your ability to get your leads to sell themselves. So, in today's episode, we're going to talk about the Netflix effect of conversions and how this innovative approach is the answer to you hanging out by the beach when your phone dings and a new call gets booked. Only 2 minutes later, you get a DM saying, "Oh my gosh, I just binged your miniseries and booked a call, but can we chat earlier? You're exactly what I've been looking for, and I'd love to get started now." And it's the key to booking just 2 to 3 30-minute calls a week with clients who are pre sold and spend the whole call fangirling over how amazing your methodology is and explaining why they know it's exactly what they need, effectively trying to sell you on why you should work with them. These are just a few of the real results myself and my clients have experienced firsthand by applying the Netflix effect to their marketing and sales process. So let's get into it. Now, the reality is, people are buying differently. Whether you realize it or not, they've made a shift in the way those buying patterns are happening, and with good reason. Now, whether you realize it or not, people are buying differently and with good reason. There's two key things that have led to a shift in our buying patterns, and I'm going to share with you exactly what those are and how we need to start addressing them. Number one is that there's more options now than ever. The reality is, in 2020, it shifted our entire market and the online industry as a whole in a big way. With more and more people at home, people got used to the idea of creating freedom in their lives. We saw a huge influx of business owners move online and start new online businesses. That means more options in the marketplace. So, what used to feel like a small handful of possible solutions turned into millions of options, and the competition for people's attention has increased and become more and more difficult. It's created what's known as a paradox of choice. Now, when the number of choices increase, so does the difficulty of knowing what is best. Instead of increasing our freedom to what we want, the paradox of choice suggests that having too many choices actually limits our freedom. This is according to the Decision Lab, who really shares exactly how this works and how the paradox of choice that got popular by American psychologist Barry Schwartz. He said, learning to choose is hard. Learning to choose well is harder. And learning to choose well in a world of unlimited possibilities is harder still, perhaps too hard. Now, I'm going to share with you what this actually looks like and why this is important. But this leads us to our second biggest roadblock is information overload. You can't escape the fact that with the rise of content creators and influencers and online businesses, there's an influx of information being shared online. But with gurus like Alex Hermosi and Gary Vee and many more who follow, teaching people to flood their marketing with 10 plus pieces of content a day, it's no secret that people are consuming more information now than ever. Now, information overwhelm is at an all time high because the reality is too much information equals stalled decisions and longer sales cycles and a decision fatigue that we can't get away from. Now, imagine for a second that you go to Target to buy some milk. You've always walked in and you've bought the 2% Good and Gather milk, but last week you started to identify that you wanted to improve your gut health and read that cow's milk is really difficult to digest. And some people say that soy milk is better, and others say almond milk. And a group of gut health experts say oat milk is the only option. Now, instead of just having to choose on the brand and the fat percentage, you now have a whole host of other options to choose from. And while options seem like a good thing, when you're in the thick of making an important decision, options can be paralyzing. What this means to you is that as a business owner, our most powerful opportunity is in being able to help people make decisions faster and with the least amount of effort or friction as possible. So, just how do we help make decisions easy and friction free so that they accomplish that Netflix effect that we really ultimately want? It's about eliminating decision fatigue and shifting from education and information to clarity. So here's the reality and what oftentimes blows my clients' minds. When it comes to my marketing, I don't actually teach, I give the gift of clarity. Now, 10 years ago, I met a big name marketing coach who preached on this idea that if we present enough information and education, that people will buy. And it never sat right with me because from the top line, that may have seemed like a value driven strategy to educate and give more information. So, what's so wrong with that? But the concept was this: if you try to give people enough information and educate them enough, their overwhelm becomes a driving factor to hiring you to solve their problem. Now, it's often referred in the marketing industry as a fire hose effect. And whether or not you've realized it or not, you may have been making this grave mistake. You are unequivocally drowning your audience with so much information, over educating them to the point where they now feel lost without you. In reality, this is a manipulation tactic and it works. You can get people to buy by manipulating them into thinking that they're so far behind and working with you is the only option. But you're also setting yourself up for needy or unready clients who are not at the level that you want and they struggle to do the work or will suck you dry on needing constant feedback and attention. But attracting self led, ready buyers who take an active role in their success means that you're reducing that decision load and focusing on clarity instead of overwhelm. I don't teach a dozen steps for you to apply when you're listening to my Business Real Talk podcast. That's not my intent. My intent is to help create clarity for you. So instead of adding and piling up information, I'm removing and reducing that decision fatigue, ultimately allowing for my highest intent ready to buy leads to move forward because they no longer question if they're taking the right steps to move to the where they need to be. So in this case, my goal for you is to walk away from this episode realizing that you don't need to create another 5-day workshop filled to the brim with more information. And you sure as heck don't need to show up 10 times a day posting more information. Your goal is to get people to create clarity faster because clarity equals decisions. And the Netflix effect is the key to helping your audience achieve clarity repeatedly and seamlessly, which leads us to the nuts and bolts of what is actually going to drive decisions and clarity using the Netflix effect. We start with the right information to the right people. Now, I'm oversimplifying a bit here, but it really is about the right information to the right people. One thing that Netflix understands is that options can be exhausting. Now, think to yourself, imagine that you jump on Netflix and they just had a huge long list with page after page after page of movies and shows available. Their user experience and watch times would significantly look different because what they do really well is understand that categorizing those desires and optimizing for consumption triggers allows you to make a decision faster. Let me explain. When you land on Netflix for the first time, you'll notice that you have everything categorized even on the front screen. From new releases to trending to top 10, and then broken down into genres, they have built in an experience that addresses your desires. Now, from a business standpoint, this remains true. It's our job as business owners to categorize and segment people based on their needs and desires. For us to have a deep understanding of the market, to acknowledge and address their varied desires, and then present the right people with the right information. Imagine wanting to watch a rom com only to sit through 30 minutes and find out it's a horror movie with gore and guts. Not what you had planned on your cozy night in on the couch. Presenting the right information to the right people is crucial to applying the Netflix effect inside of your business because people don't want to have to work hard to figure out if you have what they need. They want it to be instantly understood without them having to dig. Let me give you an example. I had a client, and when she came to me, she was feeling frustrated. She was stuck in a loop of posting content, showing up on weekly lives, and getting clients, but it felt like she was dragging them like a tired puppy who doesn't want to go on a walk. She thought she was doing it right. She was talking over and over again about the importance of mindset and healthy boundaries and relationships. And sure, people were buying, but not as quickly or as often as she would have liked. So I sat on a call with her and asked her one simple question. What do your people want? She repeated, they want a better mindset. No, people don't want a better mindset. Mindset is what they think they need, but it's not ultimately what they want. She looked at me frustrated, like she was ready to bite my head off. So we tried again. And I asked her, what do people want if mindset wasn't the option? Well, they want a loving marriage. Okay, why? So they can feel more supported. Okay, why? So they can successfully grow their business and have a power partner who motivates and grows with them every single day. Boom. They didn't want the mindset or the boundaries. They wanted a power partner and to successfully grow their business without hesitation or feeling unsupported. She took that to her audience, and suddenly she couldn't keep up with the influx of people who were asking about working with her. I call this demand angles. It's understanding the different angles of why people buy, just like Netflix has categorized into genres. Purchasing decisions can be categorized into buying triggers. And having a system in place that identifies and addresses this makes it feel like you just created the perfectly curated algorithm just for them. Having this insight allows you to curate your client acquisition to people's most burning desires, driving action instead of indecision. Now, once we have the right people and the right information, it's about having the right format. With all the right pieces in hand, it's about presenting it in a way that allows people to make decisions faster. You can have all the right pieces, but if you're not set up in a way that supports natural decision process, we're only creating roadblocks where it should be a fast lane to more yeses. This is where bingeability comes in. The simple act of binge watching triggers happiness. See, we're built to gravitate towards immediate gratification. It's why Amazon has scaled so quickly. Someone can see a product on TikTok, jump over to Amazon, and within minutes, they've ordered those new pair of pants to arrive overnight. There's a sense of satisfaction in being able to hold that level of purchasing power, and binge watching does it all. Chemically, it releases serotonin, a neurotransmitter associated with happiness and satisfaction. And each episode watch, we're creating a sense of accomplishment, moving us closer to the resolution. That release of those dopamine and serotonin neurotransmitters trains us to watch more, which rewards us with more neurotransmitters, which gets us caught in a loop of binging. So, what if your audience could feel accomplished and happy as they binge your way through your sales system? Imagine them messaging you proudly saying, I binge watched your series twice and I just keep getting more out of it. I'm so ready to work with you. There's a reason we've built bingeability into every aspect of client acquisition. From your marketing set up so that one piece feeds the next and allows them to make a micro decision, to your sales system feeding that binge worthy satisfaction you get from watching a new show. With each action, your audience is moving closer to a decision, and bingeability makes every next move exciting and easy. This is the power behind what I've coined as the Netflix effect to conversion, setting up your marketing and sales system to drive decisions by removing options and creating clarity so they can see you as the only solution. And then presenting the right information to the right people. So you're creating a custom made feedback loop that moves your audience and drives trust and authority, and creating bingeability so your audience can freely and easily move through your marketing and sales process and feeling excited to say yes. And this is just a small window into the power of the Easy Yes method and getting your leads to sell themselves. It comes down to three core pillars. And number one is your innovative advantage. It's not about just being one of many options, it's becoming the only and incomparable option that only innovation can create. This is why we work together with our clients to help them develop their innovative gap methodology that allows them to create a true market of one so they become the only option and create inbound demand because now their clients are willing to pay 5 to 10 times more because they know that they're the only and incomparable solution. Pillar two is having that bingeable sales system. Your client acquisition system is meant to help people make decisions without you needing to handhold them every single step of the way. That's why we've developed our bingeable sales system that not only drives high intent, ready to buy leads to make decisions faster, but also leverages a back end micro sales system to move those people who haven't quite made a decision by using psychological triggers that address their specific desires and help them make decisions week after week. This is the power behind having a client acquisition system that closes the loop and allows people to feel empowered in making decisions specific to them. And step three is what we call our pure profit strategy, the way we actually drive results at scale for our clients so that you're able to get world class results, whether you're serving one or 100 clients. This is the answer to being able to have clients who want to go share your name from the rooftop and become your best sales team because they know the power of the work that you do and ultimately allows you to retain them, increasing your ability to be able to scale without needing more leads. This is the power and why I am so crazy obsessed with the Easy Yes method. And I want you to experience it firsthand and why we've had over 416 clients be able to create bingeability and binge-worthy marketing and sales that does the heavy lifting and gets people to sell themselves. So if you want to take that next step and leap into addressing how we can develop this within your business, I want to invite you to get on a growth optimization call. This call is done directly with me. We're going to sit down and we're going to look at your exact system and what it looks like right now in your business. I'll highlight for you exactly where the growth opportunities are and how the easiest method can work. So if you want to book your personal growth optimization call, head on over to easyesleads.com/call and book your call today. But if you want to learn a little bit more about the EasyS method, maybe this is your first introduction to me, hi and welcome, then head on over to easyesleads.com to check out the Binge-Worthy mini-series that breaks down exactly how we use the Netflix effect to get our leads to sell themselves. But as always, I hope that you're walking away from this episode with massive clarity on understanding how you can actually use bingeability and the power of binge-worthy marketing and sales to drive sales within your business and get leads to sell themselves. And we love and appreciate when you rate, subscribe, and share this episode with a friend. But until next time, here's to keeping it real.